Sure.
Can I say something?
Yeah,
so
please.
the commands that I got for the installation of Jenkins on AWS, it's from the Jenkins site, and there itself they have added this step. Let me.
Yeah, that's the site I'm on right now. If you look at my screen.
Okay, yes, that's the one.
Yeah. So let's see if there's any. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm not going to install Java, and I'm going to see if something fails.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there's a step where I have to select something, right? For example, I don't see anything over here. We'll figure it out. There's no minus y over here. I'm guessing there's a prompt required. Let's see. No, there's no prompt. That's a good thing. Oh yeah, there's a prompt here. I'm thinking it failed on this step. I'm going to add it, and then before we get out, there has to be a why, because system is waiting for you to tell what to do, right? I think that's what it is. Yeah, I mean, give me just a moment, I mean, let's complete this. If once everything comes up, we have like really interesting stuff to do today. And the funny thing is I haven't used Jenkins in last several months. So who's the expert on Jenkins here? Is it Mansa?
No, Samir.
I think Jyoti is expert on Jenkins for sure. I don't want to run this. Jyoti, are you expert on Jenkins? Come on, don't say that.
What?
I said, are you expert on Jenkins?
I mean, I don't know.
Maybe.
Not
right?
expert. Maybe I know up to some extent.
So I would need some help today because first of all, I'm sleepy. And secondly, I don't know Jenkins. I'm kidding, don't worry. We'll figure it out. So this ran and start. I will explain what all these guys do here. Okay, just bear with me. Jobs for Jenkins has failed because the control plus exit with error code. See system control state at Jenkins service for details. Okay, so there is some problem for sure. We will get to know whether it's because of Java. It's asking us to run this anyway, so let's see why it's failing. I'll be surprised if it doesn't work with Java 17, the latest version of Jenkins. Failed to start Jenkins continuous integration step.
I think it's only working with JDK 8, these commands.
8 or 11?
Yeah, 8. For 11 also it didn't work.
As per the documentation here, it'll work on JDK 11.
It worked for me, Sajanya.
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, so as per this, it'll work on JDK 11. So I'm thinking these guys are not compatible on 17. I was assuming it should be compatible on 17, but before we assume that it's really not working, let's do some bit of research over here. So it did tell us, where was it? But there was a command which it gave us over here. General control XE. Let's see if we're able to get something from here. For that, let me just put some space. Good state. Let's finish shutting down. JVM found. See? Interesting. I want to really read up a little bit on this. Does Jenkins run on A17? And I want to do one more thing before we get any far over here. Is I want to see if I have Java home setup. I'm pretty sure it has to be there because we have Maven running. Oh, wow. I thought we have Java home setup. Interesting. I thought we had Java home setup as part of that. Where is as part of Maven installation, right? Because we were not installing Java explicitly, it was coming as part of Maven installation. And my assumption was okay, see, there's a Java home. How is it just set up for? I think it's just set up for Maven. That's what it did. Silly guy. So let's do one thing. Let's go ahead and export Java home.
I'll be right back, Samir.
So we have it here. Let's try to. Please pitch in, okay, if you have something. Oh, shoot. Doesn't like it. We can just install 11 and move forward. Okay, I mean, the whole reason I'm doing it is if you ever get into this kind of a problem, you should know how to get out of it, or at least get a confirmation. So it says invalid Java version. This clearly tells you it does not work with Java 17. So at least that is a satisfaction to me that we tried a level best to install it with 17, but 17 is not supported. Okay. So we will have to fall back to Java 11 as per this documentation. Is everybody with me? Are you understanding what is happening over here?
Yes.
Right. So a very important thing that you should take from this little exercise is the general control command. You might want to go do a little bit of research on general control. So for Jenkins or the latest one, you can just do probably, I don't know if it has help or man. Yeah, it does. So you can see what XE is. So E is pager end, and there should be X catalog. Okay, so it is giving us details as to the last failure. If there's so much more that you can do with general control, and I think last time Mansa had asked a question related to this for Docker. If something happens, Docker doesn't start, what to do? And I'd said general control and go figure it out, right? So it would be worth to just spend some time on general control. Okay, so I will make a note over here for you.
Is this like an event log in Windows, Samir?
Yeah, yes. So it captures almost everything. There's a failure, boot up issues, so on and so forth, right? A lot of it will be covered by when we go to Kubernetes. Okay, I also personally didn't spend a lot of time getting into the depth of it, but I know it is very powerful. If I don't get in, okay, you were away actually. We tried here and it gave us a very good message. It says invalid Java version, OpenJDK version 17.02 LTS, right? So it doesn't support 17. So what we're going to do is we're going to fall back on 11 now, because as per the documentation, that's what it says.
Is it to do with Amazon Corretto, which is JDK?
No, it is not about Corretto. It is about Jenkins not supporting 17.
Okay.
Okay, there are latest versions which Jenkins will have to do something to support it. So looks like the latest what it supports is 11. There was a time it was only supporting 8. I think Saujanya is probably talking about that time. It didn't support 11, right? And now we are trying to go.
In Google, I found that answer yesterday.
That it supports only 8.
Yeah, maybe that long one, I guess.
Yeah, it's probably the
Long
older one,
Yeah,
older
older
answer.
one.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to correlate is right now it is supporting 11. After a few days, you might be surprised. It might start supporting 17. It's alternatives or update alternatives?
Update alternate.
Update hyphen alternative, right?
Need to check.
It's fine. Alternatives also work. So Java, where is Java 11?
Third one.
Third one.
Number 3.
Okay. So there's Java 1.7 and Java 17. And this is the path. Failed to create. Oh, I keep forgetting this. $11. And there was export. We should probably set it up in a bash, but for now, let's just set it over here. Because as soon as we close this, right, this export probably would be lost.
Okay, this is to make it permanent, right? Make 11 as the current version.
Yeah, yeah. Right now, this will not, because as soon as we come out, this export is not sticky. So if we have to make it sticky, we have to put it up into a right file. But for now, I'm saying it's fine. Let's leave it. Let's not complicate it too much. So this is 11, and then system control. Let me hide this floating window here.
Sudo.
It's not status, start. Oh. You said it, sudo?
Yeah.
No matter how many times you tell me, I'll forget it.
It takes a couple of seconds.
Yeah. I'm just thinking if I have to do this through CLI, if I have to set the Java config automatically, there should be a way. Do you know what I mean? You saw what I did, right? I did sudo alternatives config Java. I wanted some way of doing this sudo alternatives list Java probably, and from here get the number that I want and then use that number over here. Are you guys understanding what I'm trying to get to?
Yeah.
So that I don't have to make it interactive. I can set it up into my user data and get going. What is it saying? Oh, okay, it started. Sorry. Okay, this is started. Let's go. Just remind me about the conversation I was having with in the notepad. Looks like it started. Okay, that's good. But before we go any further, I want us to see if we can explore this. So sudo alternatives. So there's no way to. Okay, I need some help. Who can help? I want to configure Java using alternatives non-interactively. People do ask same question. That's what I like it. So does your version have set the program path as alternative for name? This equivalent to config, but not. What does it mean? You can use alternatives auto name to automatically select the highest priority option. I don't want to do that. You may use the script below. Okay. You can do set, basically. That's what it means. You have an option to do set. I can see set, and then it has a name and the path. So you can say Java, and then you can give the path. I think that's a better way to do it. That's a better way to do it. If we know, so if I do this, sudo alternatives config Java, and if I know this path, I know this path. I don't know whether I have to give it until Java or I have to give get up from here. So let's try doing it. Okay, I'm going to try to set it first to this one. Go ahead.
Can we not configure this as a variable in main dot? Which file is that in Terraform?
Yeah, but we are trying to get to the command which will allow us to do it. Saujanya, you're talking about not Saujanya, Rumana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So set variable of what? Set variable for this one.
Like if you remember, you did add VPC array in multi-resource, right?
Yeah.
Because I didn't have that as one of the variable in the previous project. I added that, and then it was not prompted. So even the option can be set it.
No, that is Terraform, right, Rumana? What we are trying to do. Okay, hold on. Let me ask it to everybody. Does everybody else understand what I'm trying to really get to? Saujanya, Jyoti, Mansa, do you understand what I'm trying to get to?
Yes, Samir.
So what I'm trying to get to is, if I have more than one JDK, I want to select one of them non-interactively. That means when I set it up in my TF file, I shouldn't have to say alternative config Java and then select number 3 because the machine cannot do it. So I'm trying to find a command that will allow me to set up non-interactively. And once I have that command with me, then yes, what Rumana is saying is right. Then I can set this, any one of this as variable, but I need to have the command, right? Rumana, do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, if we include this command itself as part of user data.
Which command?
वही जो आप ऊपर sudo alternative config Java. For 1 second, I have that command. Update alternatives.
Okay, well, tell me. I want to explain it to you actually. I know what you're saying. I know that it's not right, but tell me. Update alternatives.
Update hyphen alt.
Update hyphen alternatives dash config space Java.
Okay, after I put this in my text file in the user data, do you know what will happen? It will come here and wait for me to enter the value. What do I do after that? Do you know what I'm trying to say now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm trying to find a command that will allow me to set it without prompting me. That's what is non-interactive, right? This is interactive. This only human can take care of, or maybe a robot like RPA can take care of. Machines, when it's running a script, cannot take care of it. So that's why I came up with this command. Instead of config, it is set. So now what I'm trying to do is, it is already 11, right? I'm trying to set it to 17, and it should just set it. So non-interactively. Okay, and now if I say Java minus version, if it's showing me 17, then we are done over here. It's showing 17 now, right? Now I will take 11.
Check this link, Samir.
Sorry?
Check this link if this helps. Overflow.
Sure, but are you looking at my screen, Romana?
Yeah.
You saw that it worked, the command that I just showed you.
Java. Yeah.
Yeah, so now I'm trying to use this to set it back to 11. If this works, then we are set, right? Now if I say Java version, if it says 11, yeah, see that?
Yeah.
So now we can use the set command instead of going through this non-interactive or interactive stuff. So if I do this now in my, this is just when you have a situation where Java is already installed. So I think we need to also have something in our script which will say whether you have multiple versions of Java. How do I find that out? I mean, the whole reason I'm doing this exercise with you guys is you will always get into this situation that, okay, I want to automate something. There are multiple pieces to it. So each piece I'm trying to peel it out for you. So now somebody tell me, I want to find out how many versions of Java are there on my system. How can I find out?
List command.
Okay. So list command will not give me Java, right? It will not only give me Java. It will give me everything. Then what? This LD, MTA, etc., etc.
Can we use pipe Java?
Okay. Pipe for what?
Java.
Just Java? There's nothing called Java, right? Java is what do you want to do? Do you want to do grab Java? It'll give me so many. So how? Go Google. Let's Google. How to check install Java version? No.
Update dash alternative dash list Java.
Dash list Java didn't work.
Didn't work?
Are you guessing it or?
No, I'm looking at internet.
Nope.
1 second. Let me paste it.
See that? You're looking at my screen, right?
Yes, I sent that command. Update command. Yeah.
Where did you send? Yeah, that's the same command, right? I'm running. You see this command, right? Where is it?
Yeah, yes, that's the same one.
Right here, sudo update alternative list Java. It's giving me how to use it. So list works, this doesn't work. Come on, Google. Who had worked on the SED command? That person should be able to tell me how to do it. I'm already doing this for you. Yeah, the fun part is what you have in mind. Somebody, so on most Linux distribution, you can use update alternatives, but this does not work. This is where you got from, right, Romana? It will list all the packages. So I'll copy this for you just for a satisfaction, right? This doesn't work for me. Wow. Oh, wait. It's config, not list. It's config, right? I want to avoid that because it's an interactive one. How do I come out of it when I'm in a command? Jyoti, Mansa, Saujanya, you guys are trying to figure out what's the command?
Yes, Samir, we are Googling.
Do you know what the command is? Let's see this. No, this cannot be it. Shouldn't be this stuff. Maybe this. Well, there was nothing called display, if I'm not wrong. Nope. I cannot be going through this whole list.
SDK list Java,
SDK?
list Java.
I don't know what is SDK. What command is that? I never used that SDK command.
Shows
So we
available Java versions, but yeah, it will be a lot more detailed. So
yeah, I mean, the thing is this, right? I mean, if I'm a human, I can always do this, and I know there are 3 versions. But if it's a machine, I want to run this command, the command that I just showed, right? The set command, only when there is more than one version of Java installed. Otherwise, I don't need to do it. That's the logic that I'm trying to bring in. But to do that, I have to understand how many versions of Java are already there on my machine. So Jyoti and Mansa, you are not able to find this answer yet?
sorry, just for my sake, can you type this in your
To
command?
get it.
It just to eliminate if there was any typo error. I
What-
just I pasted the command. You tried it already, but just as this, if we can run this command.
Which one?
It's in the chat box.
Yeah, that's the same one I used.
Yes.
Romana.
Yes.
There you go. Question is, does it work for you?
I didn't try. Actually, I don't have.
Yeah. That's not working. That's not working. So this gives me too many things in here. There's one of here, and one here. Yeah, technically this is what could tell me, because then everything else under it is listing for that particular version. So this should be able to tell me. I should be able to identify from here. Link currently points to, and it also tells me where it is currently pointing to. So yeah, so this is the command.
Can you try this command one? Sudo apt sudo yum list -- install pipe grep -i open JDK.
Sudo yum list. Okay, I will try this, but this command on top should help us. Okay, sudo, what was that?
Apt list.
Yum.
Have pasted in the chart.
Yeah, it's a apt command you
list
give me, but yum list. Let's see if this works first. And then command line error, no such option installed. You see that error, right? Yum list gives me all this. And then if I do grep -i open JDK, it need not be open JDK, right? It can even be, yeah, it gives me quite a lot of them. It's 11, 1.8, 1.7. We don't even have 1.8 there actually, but it's still showing us because it's uninstalled maybe. And there's nothing called as installed in here, Jyoti. If you're looking at my screen, yum list doesn't have anything called installed. See that? So this will not be the one. I'm thinking this will be the one. This will be the one. We have to go pick up just this part, userlib JVM, unique userlib JVM, and we'll probably have to do a count. Okay, and then we can also find out which it is currently pointing to if we are in a bash command. So what I would want to do, I will also do this as part of the exercise, but I want you also to do as part of the exercise, is when you run this command, after you run this command, take this command.
Can we grep Samir? not to
Yeah.
get the slave, not to get the slave.
Yeah, we should be able to, but I'm thinking it is a little, so yes, we can do grep
Type grep hyphen
grep
v.
slash
I think
user
hyphen v.
slash lib slash JVM. Yeah, we can. And then probably we can do a count. It doesn't give me on, do I have to include it in double quotes? Do you know? Oh, use a lib, not list. My bad. It gives me, okay, all of them. There's a lot of them actually.
No, just I'm saying, can we avoid the slave? Grep hyphen v slave, just to avoid slave.
Grep hyphen v slave, huh? Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're getting exactly what we need. We're getting some more stuff there actually, but we'll have to do some bit of filtering. Because if I do a count on this, it will give me more, right, Mansa?
Yes.
So I just want to get this 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. When I want to do something interactively here, is it SED minus I or? Whoever did search for SED.
It's me, Samir. But
What is it? What is the search command for SED?
yes. /s.
I just want to search. I don't want to replace. I don't want to replace. Is there only search? You know, if there's only search.
Samit, check this command if this makes sense or if it's more efficient or.
Oh, APT list doesn't work. APT is for Ubuntu, Romana.
Oh, okay.
That's the same one which Jyoti has given on top. If you see above your chat, it's the exact same command. That will not work.
Yeah.
This command will work. We just have to play around with the SED command to search for a specific string that we want. Okay, so Mansa, tell me, do you know, or do you want me to just search?
Oh, just I remembered it as /s, Samir. But you are saying it's for substitute.
Yeah, it is basically search and replace. If you see here, I don't want to search and replace. Linux find in string. Okay, let's do this. Okay. There's a reason I'm trying to spend time on this, even though it has nothing to do with Jenkins. So we have this, right? We'll do.
You try this command, Samir, sudo alternatives -- config Java without using list.
Sudo alternative. No, config Java is interactive command, Jyoti. It expects you to enter something. It is not a non-interactive. In a shell script, you don't want to use an interactive command. We already tried that. User lib JVM. There you go. You see that? You see it?
Yes.
Okay. So I was telling you there's a whole purpose why I'm trying to do this, right? Let me tell you something which is very, very important now. You have a thing like this, right? Pick it up from here. All right. Go to regex 101. Remember this always. The whole reason that we spent almost an hour is so that you don't forget this. Okay, I have this string. I want to exactly find out these strings. You know what it is because we already spent so much time, right? So this is the one which will help you do your regex. And regex is another powerful concept over here. This hat or whatever you call it, caret, means the start of a string. What does our string start with? It starts with slash. Okay, the pattern contains one or more errors. We have to escape it. Okay, because slash has a meaning in regular expression. So you see how many it found? 3 matches. So if I go back here and let's see if it allows me to use this. Okay, I just want to we didn't even need all of it, but yeah, it works. So regex across the languages works a little differently. It's most 80% of the time it's the same, but there are some variation. For example, in our case, we saw that it was not really blaming us for not using the right concept in regex, that you escape. So escape means this has a special meaning, but I use this particular one to tell, please don't treat it as a special meaning. Take it as a literal string. You're understanding what I'm trying to say? And now you can put as fine grain as you want. And now after that, what I'm saying is it can be anything. Star means anything. Why is it? Oh. Technically. Wow, star doesn't work. To tell me the meaning over here. Matches the previous token between 0 and 1. Oh. Plus W. W, there should be a word, any word. Basically, I want to say anything. What is it for anything? I thought star was for anything. I know it works for us. We have nothing to worry, but I just want to give you the right thing. So regex also you can always Google for. Dot star. There you go. See that? So you get the whole string selected and you want to play around with it, you can play around with it. And then I can say dollar, that means end, dollar. That's the end of the string. So now if you see over here, there are 3 matches, which returns the whole string. So technically what I can do is I can take this up from here. I can go to this and I can put it, and minus E is for regular expression, okay, with grep. This should give me all the 3 strings. See that? Everything selected. This will be very, very important for us when we want to select this statement here. right? I want you to now tell me, now that I have already told you how to search for a string using regular expression, I want you to tell me how to just get this part. This part. Chalo, let's guess. And please don't treat this as an unimportant topic, okay? It's a pretty important topic because across your work life, you'll come across situations where you want to automate something, you want to find something, and you're not able to easily figure it out. That's where you're going to fall back to regex. You want to find and replace, probably you'll go to sed command. I was thinking sed also has a search command, but looks like it might be there. We just didn't Google enough. Okay, tell me how are you going to find this? Let's make it interactive. What do I do? Start guessing. I mean, there's nothing wrong here.
Java 11.
You want me to put a caret or no?
Yeah, same as earlier. After that, Java 11.
No. How can you say Java 11? I want to find out what this string is going to be. If I set it to 17, then it will be 17, right?
Okay.
I want to know what is the currently set up Java version.
Okay.
You understand the requirement, right? We don't know what is set over here. We have
to search for currently set up.
Okay, I will search for it. You tell me. Who is it? Is it Manse or?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, tell me. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to type?
Link currently, right?
Do you want the caret? You don't want the caret?
Yeah,
with caret.
Okay, after caret, what?
The same text that we are seeing in that string.
No, it will not find it.
Backslash.
Slash.
Which slash? This slash?
Yeah.
No, backslash.
Okay, then what?
Not that one.
No, both the slashes.
Okay.
Dot. No dot. Link.
No, you already went ahead. If you see here, what is selected?
We don't need to give the slash.
Okay.
Yes, star. Instead of slashes, star.
Okay.
No, just backslash and then link.
Backslash. Backslash or forward slash? I know the answer to it, okay? I'm just acting. Because I want you to figure out, you're not looking at something which is very, very critical. You're looking at this string, but you're not looking at something which is very, very critical. At least this should give you a clue what I'm talking about. Doesn't? At least now it should give you a clue what I'm talking about. It doesn't. Now it should give you a clue what I'm talking about.
Yeah, spaces.
Slash S in regular expression is for space. Okay. So that's what it has found out. What we could do is did you get what I'm trying to do? Do you see this? So we created groups and we have two groups now. Group one, which is match one, it matches, and then it gives me the group. Are you with me? You're not with me? You have to say yes, no, I don't know.
What's the outcome of this command, Samir? What we are on my left, I'm seeing match one and group one. Which one is the output for the command that you have typed?
Okay, well, the output right now, we'll take this to shell and we'll figure it out, because in shell, I have never tried to return a group. But what I'm trying to tell you is, if I had to do it into some programming language, and we'll figure it out in shell also, how to return a group. Okay. But first of all, let's take this and let's get the answer for what you're trying to ask for. Okay. It'll return the match if I'm not wrong. But if I have to explicitly ask it to return the group, let's see what it does. So it is not returning me anything. Let's try and see. So it does return me up to here in shell command. But if I do this in Java, I have a way, or Python or any language, I have a way to get the group. So let's quickly Google can grep return group only. GNU grep has the -p option for Perl style regex and the -o option to print only what matches the pattern. This can be combined using look around assertions. Okay, I will leave this out as a assignment for you because this guy is already talking about groups over here. So I'm assuming there is a way for us to do that. If we are not able to do it because we have to move to Jenkins. Hold on, not this one. It returns me the whole thing. And if I want only the group,
Can we pipe and do one more grep?
all right. I mean, if it's returning me this whole thing, how can I just get this part out of this string? How do I just get this part?
Pipe and do a grep for user / user.
Grep for what? / user. I want that string. I want only this to be written. I know we can use the awk command, but it's very, very awkward to use the awk command. When I use the awk command, it'll have link, currently, points to, and then this whole string. So I can get from the awk the last instance of this, right? Who had worked on awk last time? Who worked on awk last time?
Yes, Samir, it's Jyoti.
So Jyoti, tell me the awk command. What do I do?
Dollar, that means to get only a particular field.
Can I, what is the syntax? Is it $print or what is it?
Yeah, dollar within the curly braces. Single quote,
$curly
and
braces print like that.
then into $0.
Print $0, huh?
Yes, print space $0 within.
No,
in
you're looking at
space.
my screen. Tell me what you want me to type within the single quotes. Like that?
Single quote. No, first single quotes and then curly braces.
No $, right? Okay.
No. Print
$0
space
like that.
$0 again curly. Yes, that's all.
Okay, so now it is giving me the whole thing.
Number 5 for the field or 4, depending on the index.
Number four.
4, number 4.
2. 5.
And 5 then. That's
No, what is the command to get the last one? There you had some NF and all that, right? What is it? Yeah, NF. Last field. You don't have to count, correct? The whole hour that we spent over here, do you really understand the importance of the shell commands now?
Yes.
Right? You did awk, you did sed, you probably did not do grep. Somebody did done grep, but you didn't go to the level of grep -e, -op, so on and so forth. Right? So I want you to take this as a challenge. Everything that we've done today, please go try. We have just done few things, actually 3 or 4 things, but we went back and forth between commands, Google. Try and figure out what we were trying to do. You have to come up with a requirement in your mind. You have to think, what is it that I want? I want the last. I want last minus. What if I wanted to return one element before this last? Jyoti, what is the command? You see this whole string, right? I wanted to return 2. I don't want to count. I don't want to do 0, 1, 2, whatever. I want to return second last element. What is the command? What is the command? There's a command basically to return one element before the last element. What is NR? NR is number of rows, right? Start.
NF minus 1.
Yeah, I tried that. I don't know why NF minus 1 didn't work. You have to put this. NF minus 1 didn't work for me. I was thinking it's NF.
Within bracket, NF minus 1 bracket, dollar bracket NF minus 1.
Dollar in the brackets, yeah, NF minus 1.
NF minus 1 or NF minus $1? I don't know. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yeah, within the brackets, we should
After
keep
the dollar symbol.
There is a bracket after dollar symbol.
Oh, like that?
Yes.
Minus 1
Not
like
curly
this?
braces,
Not
regular
curly.
one.
Like this?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep, that worked. But spend some time on it. The awk grep said, I'm not an expert on it in any way, but I know what problems it is going to solve for me. So if I ever get into a situation where I want to solve something, I use a lot of regex. And most of the time my regex is going to this side if I'm not able to solve regex, because regex is another thing where we don't use it very often, and you don't remember it. You just know what the syntax is high level, but you don't remember everything. But this is a good place for you to just go figure out things. Okay, I think there should be some learning also here. Regex library is there. You can take a look at all of it. But anyway, let's move back now to Jenkins. So what it is saying is it has this admin password somewhere here, correct? Okay, before I get in here, I want you to ask any question. Is there any questions around what we were trying to do? Were you understanding the requirements that we were setting and trying to figure out the answer for it?
Yes, clear.
Sudo.
Sudo.
Yep. That's what I did, right? Strange. I thought I did that. All right. Before I go any further, I want to talk about a couple of things. Okay. Before we go any further, right, what I want to talk about is Saujanya and Romana. You had some assignment. I want you to, I know you haven't done it completely. You gave it a try maybe, but I want you to tell me what was it all about? What was the purpose of that assignment? Saujanya, you can start because you have been very active there. Saujanya?
Whatever the changes we do, we can do it in that configuration file.
Mhm.
So whenever
Right. So what do we do today, right? That's exactly hold on. What are we doing today? This is me. I'm trying to install Jenkins, correct? Agree? I will take those steps and eventually put it up in my user data with all the commands that we figured out. Okay. That'll allow me to automate the installation of Jenkins. After we do installation of Jenkins, what do we have to do? We have to set up Jenkins, correct? Everybody agree with that? This whole thing that we're going to go. You're with me?
yes.
Okay. After we set up Jenkins, well, when I say set up Jenkins, this is the first step of setting up Jenkins, right? The default stage. After we set up Jenkins, what are we going to do? We have to, the raw Jenkins, when I go in here and try to, let's say, install suggested or select plugins to install, whichever way I go, I can probably come in here and select what plugins I want from here, right? I can move forward. But after all those plugins are installed, what do I have to do? I have to configure those plugins, correct? And if you go with the default suggested plugin installation, in between you will have a step over here to install plugins that you need. Everybody with me so far?
Yes, Samir.
Okay, now this is the step that we are trying to automate using. Okay, but there's a catch. What is the catch? And if you read the documentation very closely, the documentation clearly says we do not install plugins. Did you read that? Did anybody read this in the documentation? That and Saujanya, you were sending me a screenshot, you remember, that I have
Yes, Samir.
installed the JCASC plugin.
Yes.
We have to install JCASC plugin, and now assume for a moment that I install, I want to do some configuration around Maven installation path or Java installation path, or I want to install a plugin that requires a setup, for example, LDAP plugin, let's say, or I want to set up the authorization plugin to set up user authorization. So all of that plugins, some of those that requires plugins, those plugins also have to be installed, correct?
Yes.
So my point is, after you have set up Jenkins, you should have some script, because I can definitely go here. Yeah, I can probably get in here and select the plugins that I need. I'll go through here, select whatever I need from here, right? But our whole purpose of automation is so that we don't have to come and do this, because you might miss, or you'll have to create a Word document where you'll specify, okay, folder, yeah, it has to be selected. Configuration as code, it has to be selected, right? You'll have to remember all of that. So the whole part of anything as code is so that you don't have to remember it. It will be somewhere as code that these are the plugins that have to be installed. And after the plugins have been installed as part of automation, you are going to set up and as part of this plugin installation, you're also going to install JCASC plugin. And then you'll have your configuration file. And I believe that configuration file has to be placed in some location so that your plugin can pick it up and then set up all these other plugins which are around there. I want you to understand that concept. Tell me that you understand the fundamentals that I'm talking about here.
Yes, Samir.
Jyoti, Mansa, Saujanya,
Yes.
Yes,
Romana,
Samir.
you're understanding?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the whole point is, I'm fine, if I have to come in as an administrator and just install with suggested plugins to start with. Okay. Once Jenkins is installed using suggested plugin, I have to run my automation to install only the plugins that I need. And those plugins have to be documented in some code. And for that, I had forwarded you a video. Did anybody read that or watch that video?
I did. So why can't we validate in that config file that generates after
No, but
installing that plugin?
that's the critical piece that you're missing over here, what I'm trying to show you. What I'm telling you is that configuration file does not install plugin. You see this part here? It configures an installed plugin. So what does that mean to you? It means we have to install the plugins that we require, right? Before we configure those plugins.
Yeah, got it now.
What you're looking at is the sample file that you're looking at is you're looking at a file that is configuring plugins that are already installed or that come bundled with Jenkins. I'm talking about a plugin that is not even there. And that's what we will see. I mean, you did a good thing, actually. I mean, there are a lot of things that we had not figured out, right? But I want you to remember now, once the Jenkins is installed over here, we will see that there are a couple of plugins that we need to install manually. Okay. I really want you guys to understand what I'm saying over here, because it's a critical piece that I'm talking about. Jenkins by itself is nothing. The power of Jenkins is when you install plugins. Does everybody know this?
Quick question. So
Yeah.
those suggested plugins installation that pops up, right? Can we automate that as part of user data instead of?
No.
No.
No. You can't.
So
User
every time-
data, you have to remember, Romana, user data is only to do installation or start installation. It doesn't give you any power even to get in there and start this first step that we started with. You went and took the admin password, and then you opened up this 8080 and you had to enter that password. None of that UI stuff user data allows you to do. Anybody who knows over here that it allows you to do, please correct me. It doesn't.
Not this part, Samir. Just the previous one. Install the suggested plugins, right?
Yeah. But Romana, look at it, right? What we had to do to get to this page, we had to go to a browser and open up 8080, correct? Port 8080.
Yes.
Only after we opened up port 8080 is when it said, okay, proceed. And then it asked us for the admin password. It's an interactive process, right?
Yeah.
User data is not going to do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if there is a way to do it non-interactively.
There is a way. There is a way. And the video which I sent you is the way.
Plugin manager, installation manager.
Yeah. That's the way. There's also a native way, which is basically Jenkins CLI. We are going to look at it today. Jenkins CLI and Jenkins REST API. Okay, so these are the two things that we will visit. Anybody over here has explored Jenkins CLI and Jenkins REST API up until now?
No.
Okay, so we will talk a little bit about Jenkins CLI and REST API, and then I would want you to really spend some time playing around with these two things. Okay, for the rest of the well, tomorrow we have a class, so we will talk a bit about it. But the rest of the week that you have, play around with it. Okay, and Jenkins CLI has an install plugin option but this is not the most neatest way to do it. Okay, the neatest way to do it is the plugin manager part that that guy was talking about. Okay? So let's move forward over here. Is there any question or doubt in whatever I've said so far? That before you use the JCSC plugin to configure your plugin, the plugin that you're trying to configure, if they're not default installed plugins, have to be first installed.
Yeah.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, let's move forward. Let's create a user over here. I'll create admin.
Do we really have to do this on a multi-resource project now that Ansible is off of the table?
Sorry, what was that, Rumana?
Oh, I think we are doing this setup on a multi-resource project, right? Terraform project.
You
Do
can
we
do wherever
really-
you want, but I'm not doing it in multi-resource. I have created a new one called Terraform-Jenkins,
Okay.
new project.
All right.
Yeah, I will commit this and you can do it there. Close. For now, it's okay. I will use this, but then we will set up a Route 53. We'll have a fancy URL. Start using Jenkins. Yeah. Many of you have explored around. So there seems to be a security issue. Building on the built-in node can be a security issue. You should set up distributed builds. Okay, we'll set it up later. We don't need it now. Let's explore around a little bit here. I mean, maybe what we can do is start with a very simple one. So I'll move back here to dashboard. Okay. There are a lot of things that we have to go through. The stuff that I want you to know is over here. If you want to explore REST APIs are over here. Okay. And it does tell you a lot of stuff that you need to do. Okay. And let me pull this guy out. Come out. And then there is Jenkins CLI, which should be a URL. Command line interface can be accessed to SHL and Jenkins CLI. I want the installation, downloading the client. Okay. The general syntax for invoking the client is as follows, but I want to download the Jenkins CLI. It's usually used to be somewhere. So, give me just a second. As far as I remember, there was a way to download it from your I think it's this one. /CLI. Why? Yep, this is the one. See here? So I'll put up these things in the description of the video for you guys. The REST APIs are So this is where we have to download. Okay, you can just click on it. It will download, and then you can follow this documentation that I was going through. So they have given the documentation. We will visit it briefly, but if you go through here, it gives you a lot of options. Add a job to view, build, cancel or quiet down, clear queue. So if you click on any one of them, like for example, create job, they have given you a neat command how to do that. If you have to create a job, okay, you have to create a job with parameters also should be there. So it's very easy. I mean, I cannot go through each and every one over here, but whichever you want, right? I mean, play around with it. I mean, you want to find out the version of Jenkins. What is it? Java minus jar. So let's just play around with just one, okay? The whole intention is not to show you the CLI right now, but just for the sake of it. I will put it down here. I will copy this URL. And what I will do is Java minus jar command, everybody knows. That's a executable jar, what they have. Jenkins CLI jar minus S. Put up this path, whatever I copied. Minus web socket. I might have to create some kind of breadcrumbs if at all it doesn't work out of the box, but we'll first see what happens here. Anonymous is missing the overall read permission. So it will require me to authenticate. Okay. So let's see how to authenticate. Good. Let's do something fancy here. You see here, auth, user and secret. You see that? So what I will have to do is here, I'll have to bring the user and the secret. So basically, let me, it has Jenkins CLI token, generate it, copy it, and see that now? I'll repeat it again if you want me to delete this token. When you use your Jenkins CLI, and I would seriously recommend, not now. So go to CLI, it's /CLI, and you can go download the CLI from here. Okay. Once you download the CLI for here, wherever your Jenkins CLI is downloaded, take it in some place where you can remember. I've just kept it in downloads for now. But the overall syntax, you can pick up any command that you want. The easiest one was version for me because it doesn't do anything. Or you can even do who am I if you wanted to. So I can say WebSocket, who am I, right? Saying handshake error. Oh, because I removed the token. Okay, because this token is not valid anymore. I had to show you how to create a token. To create a token, you click on your name over here. You go to configure, and then you say new token. Just give some name for it. It doesn't have to be Jenkins CLI. It can be anything that you want to. And then see what it says. Copy this token now because it cannot be recovered in the future. So if you want to reuse this, you'll have to save it somewhere, because as soon as I save it from here and move out, that is gone. That token will be gone. Okay. So I will, just for the sake of it, I will save it over here. Okay. Now when I go back here, clear the screen, hide this one. And then get rid of this old token and put the new token in here. This is the user, okay? whatever is your user, and then you see it says I'm admin. Is it clear so far? Any question? Will you be able to go explore a lot more CLI commands?
After downloading the CLI, so do we need to work only through command prompt?
Yes, the whole idea is you can do a lot of automation. You don't even need to come to Jenkins if there's some automation that you want to build, and people do use CLI to do a lot of automation. Okay, so you don't have to do every single thing. For example, you want to create a node, delete a node, create build, delete build, create job, delete job, so on and so forth. Everything could technically be created as code. So in future, if you need something, just go run that script and everything that you need would be there in front of your eyes. Okay, so you don't have to spend a lot of time looking at this CLI, but I would really appreciate if you could take a look, try to install. So this is the one that I was talking about, right? There is already an install plugin. So you can use this install plugin to install all the plugins that you need. But I would also want you to look at that install plugin manager, that the link which I had sent you. Does that make sense? Mansa, was that you?
Jyoti. Yes,
did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is CLI. And then there is also, as I showed you down here, there is REST APIs. So with REST APIs, if you really look at it down, to create a new job, post config.xml to this URL with query parameter name, job name. Okay. So you have this URL over here, create item. And what it is saying is you have to post config.xml to this URL, whichever this URL is. Okay. And you have to pass the job name equals to job name. So what you could do is I would probably set up a Postman script for you to have, okay, I already asked you to install Postman, right, on your local machines, didn't I?
Install it.
Okay, go ahead and install Postman. Like you can just search for Postman and then download and install Postman on your local machine. So hopefully today I will spend some time to create some APIs using some of the REST APIs. This REST APIs would be important for a developer, okay, who wants to automate Jenkins. Like for example, he wants to write a separate UI that is going to do some of the tasks which is allowed by this REST APIs. That's when it will be important. Okay, for you, it's only important to know that this is there. If somebody asks, you know where to go look for it. Okay, so these were the two things. We will visit it more in detail tomorrow. So please get your Postman installed. Now let's move ahead and look around. At least let's go ahead and create a simple freestyle job. Somebody please help me. How do I create a freestyle job?
Item.
Okay, new item.
Name.
Okay.
For the job. Freestyle. And then OK.
Okay.
Configure.
Let's go
Select
down.
Git.
What's that?
Select Git.
Should we add a build step? Will that work? We already have Maven, right, on it. This is the command here. Okay, the simplest of job that we created. Let's look around a little bit over here. what we did was we created a job, a freestyle job. That's what shows over here. You can sit and configure it. So that was the configuration piece. We will go through some of them, like when we really need it. You have source code management. You can set up, we'll have to set up a Git plugin also. Okay. So we will look at it right now. I just want to use it in the rudimentary form. So what I did was, the only thing that I did was put Maven version, and let's say I want to do a Java version, and then I want to do echo first build starting. And I can build now. First build starting, first build completed, and everything under it is Maven version and Java version. Okay, I'm pretty sure everybody has done this. Romana, is this new for you, or you have done this before?
I've done this.
Okay, if I want to do something new, but I don't want to configure it. So if I want to delete it, I can delete it, but this is not fun, right? The fun part is basically when we start playing with code. So let's do that a bit. And I will say pipeline. And okay. Now, when we go down here, there is pipeline script. Okay, the fun part is here. If I do not know how to use this, I can say, you know what, hello world, or I can say hello world Maven. So it is set up hello world Maven over here. I do not have the Maven code checked out, so I don't want to test this. So I will just try hello world for now. And there are two types of, two ways you can do it actually. One is called scripted, the other one is pipeline, declarative pipeline. Okay, what you're seeing over here, pipeline started and ended, that's declarative pipeline. There's another way, which is scripted pipeline. It starts with node. If you look at it, it goes this way. Okay, we will use both of them. Like we will use pipeline, and then sometimes when we'll look at scripted, but let's start with this pipeline. Let's save it and build it now. A success. Okay, this is where that Groovy, I had asked you to download Groovy console and play around with some commands. You remember I told you Groovy collection, working with collection, this link which I'd given you. Do you remember this? All of these commands that I hear, most of them you should be able to play around over here in this area. Okay, so let's go back, configure the step. Let's do something like def where 1 equals to 10, def where 2 equals to 20, def where 3 equals to where 1 plus where 2, and then let's see if it fails. Good. So let's look at this now. Expected a step. Okay, that's what it is saying. So let's go ahead, and I want to, this is a situation where it has failed, and I'm not super sure how it all works, you know, and I don't want to keep configuring each and every time. So the best way to do is replay. You can do a replay. Well, it should actually show me the code. I don't know why it's not showing me the code, because we do not have a Jenkins file. The expectation is it will show me the code and it will let
Permissions. It says without run replay permission, you're not permitted to modify pipeline script.
Allow you to run a pipeline build again. Without the run replay permission, you are not permitted to modify the pipeline script. I'm the admin. Why do you think I need it? Okay, anyway, we'll come to that later. But for now, let's go ahead and see if we are able to fix it. So Jyoti, again, tell me what I have to do. How do I solve this problem, Jyoti?
I think for each command we have to run step.
For each one, I have to put step.
No? I think Jyoti can answer.
Answer, what do I have to do? I don't know. I'm just guessing here. Can I have multiple step under steps? I don't know. Let it fail again. So you'll have to help me. So it is saying expected a step at line number 10. I know what I have to do there, but somebody who's been using Jenkins so long, tell me what I have to do. Is it script or something else? I don't remember. There is a way. Okay, it's saying where 3, no such property where 3. So it did go inside and it failed on a different one. So that script wrapping was the right thing to do. And here,
For where 1 and where 2, don't we need to use the dollar symbol somewhere?
yeah, I think so. I think we have to use it. But it is failing on where 3. Why? It failed on where 3, not on where on and where 2. See, it is now failing on where 1. No such property. Why? Let's bring our Groovy console. Oh shoot, I don't have Groovy console on this one. Okay, I'll install it later. Okay, somebody has to tell me, help me here. What is happening? Don't we need this? I thought we needed dollar to reference it. Has something changed recently? Has something changed recently? Oh shit, what happened? I thought it was, oh, I went to 5. Yeah, now it's working. I was always under the impression that we had to use dollar to reference. Do you guys also remember that? Do you remember that, Jyoti, Mansa? Didn't we have to use dollar to reference?
Yeah, looks like.
But now looks like it's not required. Did this guys change something? But anyway, let's not ponder over it. I was thinking in my shared library, I have used that several places. It's not just one place that I've used dollar. I don't know what has changed recently, but let's see if this will work. I'll tell you why I think this will be required, because if they've tried to fix something, it's a bad thing. Yeah, see, it is saying no such DSL method dollar found. Yeah, see that? They have defined this variable and they're using that variable over here. Interesting. Anyway, let's not stall because of that. We know what the answer is. I mean, the only reason I would want this to work is because if I have to use something like this, how am I going to do if they're going to reference them directly by where? Are they expecting me to do this? Do something like this? I mean, the dollar was primarily, yeah, looks like they're expecting you to do that now. This is something new to you, new to me. I mean, Jyoti, you also feel this is something new, or do you think this is the way it always worked?
Idea, Samir.
Sorry?
I do not have much idea.
Okay. Well, as far as I know, that's not how it used to work. We were able to declare variables and we are able to use those variables using dollar signs in Jenkins, and I might be making things up completely. I very seriously remember we used to do dollar curly braces, but I might be wrong in terms of I used to do that in shell script and that's where I'm getting it from. But I'm going to do some reading to look at it, because we will have to write some complex shells, complex shared libraries. Okay, so let me give you a little bit of a picture before we wrap what we want to do next. So what have we done? We have installed Jenkins and we are exposing a public IP, correct? I want you to say yes, no.
Yes.
Okay, so we've exposed a public IP, and that's the public IP we are using over port 8080. Okay, that's not the realistic world, right? That's not how we really want to do stuff. So what we will have to do is I will be setting up a cloud front, and we'll look at it what it means. Fronting this public IP. Okay, and I will be defining a certificate manager, and I will use that certificate over here so that I'm able to use HTTPS instead of HTTP. Okay, then I will create a Route 53 hosted zone for lotusops.com. Okay, that's where I already have a DNS registered. We'll talk about it probably tomorrow if we get some time, and if I get to set all of this up. And I will create a record to point to this when somebody comes to lotusops.com, or I will probably set up a sub DNS, which is jenkins.lotusops.com. So if anybody comes to jenkins.lotusops.com, I'm going to forward them to this CloudFront URL, and that CloudFront URL will take it to public IP, whatever that is, and go to our Jenkins. Okay, so the whole thing, what this whole picture means to you is you'll be able to come in and say www.jenkins jenkins.lotusops.com. Okay. That's the whole intent, but we are going to look at registered DNS. We're going to look at hosted zones. We're going to look at NS record, A record, so on and so forth. We are going to look at AWS certificate manager, how to create certificate manager. We look at how to create a CloudFront URL fronting the site that you have. Okay, why CloudFront is required, and we'll be setting up HTTPS endpoint. That's the whole picture. Has anybody already done this? Like, you have an idea about how to do this?
No, Samir.
Okay, so this is going to be a fun thing. What we will see, we'll not spend a lot of time because I'll have most of the things figured out before tomorrow's session, hopefully. Okay, so today you can try to install Jenkins, play around with it, do whatever you want to do. But going forward, what we will do is I also want to do one more thing is I want to use Azure AD to set up your users there. Okay, so all of our 4 users will be set up there. And I want to use the Jenkins authorization plugin to give access to you based on the roles in AD. So then you get the whole picture of how it is really done at the enterprise level. Okay, it is still not ready for enterprise level because what I'd asked Mansa and Jyoti to do, which they didn't do, is, okay, before I get there, is this flow, is it clear to you? I know we haven't touched it, but at least from a mind mapping point of view, are you able to map what I'm trying to really get over here? Romana? Saujanya?
No, Samir.
Okay. Do you know when you want to go to Google, you don't use an IP address to go to Google?
Yes.
You use www.google.com, right?
Yeah.
So when we come to our Jenkins, why do we want to go to IP address :88? If we have to go to www.jenkins.lotusops.com, this is all thing that we will have to set up. So we'll have to have a registered DNS. We'll have to have a hosted zone. We'll have to set up a record pointing to CloudFront. CloudFront will use the certificate manager, which is given by AWS certificate manager. And CloudFront will point to the public IP and the URL. So from a user perspective, user don't see everything which is behind. User only sees that he can go to Jenkins using this URL. Does that make sense now?
Yes.
Okay. Now what I'm saying is, we want to create users, right? Now there's only one person who's accessing it, and I have my user ID and password. I don't want to keep creating user ID and password in Jenkins for all of us. What I would really love to do, and this is an optional thing, I will explore it, is I want to have some kind of active directory where we have all our users and roles, and I would just attach those users and role in Jenkins. Instead of creating each user separately, I will attach it from here. So if at all I want to remove someone, I can just go remove it. You'll lose access. I want to add someone, I will add it. They will get access, so on and so forth. Okay, so that way we'll get to look at the Jenkins authorization plugin. Is it clear now for everyone? Jyoti, Mansa?
Yes.
Okay, now to take it to the next level, what we will have to do is, I will have 2 Jenkins instances, which is basically Jenkins master, right? We have not even looked at what are the files that it writes, so on and so forth, but there's workspace directory, there's a specific home directory that we'll have to mount it, the EFS. Okay.
I tried a lot, Samir. This EFS mounting didn't work for me.
Sure, we'll look at it. Even I have struggled every time I go to set up EFS, right? I struggle. There's a very specific command that you have to use over there.
Not that default VPC is not working. Then I have created everything from scratch: VPC, subnets, route tables, internet gateway. But even though it didn't work,
sure, we'll figure out. I mean, the thing is, we'll keep doing this kind of troubleshooting sessions, right? Because then you also know what are the things that we have to do to get it working. But theoretical idea is this: you'll have Jenkins Master 1, Jenkins Master 2. They will both be active on EFS. Okay, I would be having application load balancer. May not be ALB, could be ALB, but I'm thinking I would probably have some kind of Nginx or Apache HTTP server over here, which is a reverse proxy. And that reverse proxy will always forward to 1. If 1 goes down, we have to just make it forward to 2. Okay. Each one of them will be talking to some slave. Okay. To slave is nothing but to master. You don't want master to do any of the job. The jobs that we were submitting right now over here were being performed by the master. Okay. So we don't want master to do that work. We always want slaves to take care of it. Okay. This ALB will have a URL, right? That URL will be used by your CloudFront. And then everything else from here on will be the same. Okay. So the only switch that has to be done, and this is where I'll have to figure out if I could have some kind of a target group, and target group could have an active passive kind of a terminology. So when we talk about load balancing, right, you could have active, or you could have active, passive. So that means this is active. If this active goes dead, then this passive becomes active. Okay. We'll look at those things, but my whole idea would be to get this first piece working, then see if we can get to AD, and the last thing is see if we can get to highly available instance. Okay, if we get to highly available instance, the next thing that would really be required to be done is setting up some process to regularly back up the EFS mount to a different availability zone or a different region altogether. So technically we can look at this part, these things being run into different regions. Okay, hopefully. I'm not very certain about it, but that's what we would want to do, at least run it into different availability zones. Because if one availability goes down, the second will be up. Or if the one region goes down, the second region would be up. What would it take for us to have the state available? Go clean your nose, baby. State available for when we set this master instances up. Okay, please don't worry about it. We are going to, this is a whole big picture that I'm trying to give you. If you think this is overwhelming, don't worry about it. We are going to do a little piece at a time. Okay, and even when it comes to Jenkins, we will start writing some jobs, like the projects that we had, right? The Maven projects, we will hook them up. We will have to go install some kind of plugins, especially the GitHub plugins, to be able to use GitHub. I believe GitHub plugin is already installed because I did see the SCM, but we might need a multi-branch plugin for GitHub to be able to set up multi-branch. But once we have that, right, I think that's all fun. I mean, it all depends on how much do you really want to do. So from there on, once we have the whole instance up and running, we have installed all the plugins that we want. We have done the JCASC and so JCASC and the plugin, right? I really want one of you guys to take it up. I have already talked about it. JCASC and the plugin manager. Give another try for it. Try to do it yourself. If you're not able to do it, I would really want to do it over here because I want to manage everything as code. Everything basically. CloudFront would be through Terraform, public IPs, ACMs, creating a certificate, registering a record, so on and so forth. Eventually, I want everything to come out as Terraform. Okay. For now, I will be manually doing it. Okay. Once we have all of it, we can import all of those resources into Terraform and then just run Terraform and everything should get created out of the box. Is everybody getting the big picture, what I'm trying to paint over here? I know you don't need to understand the technical details behind it, but the big picture, are you able to understand?
Yes, Samir.
Really great idea, Samir.
Yeah, we'll do it. And again, you'll have to bear with me because I'm coming to Jenkins. I mean, I did write the whole of shared library, but don't consider me as an expert, right? I mean, I would come to your level to be able to Google along with you if at all we hit any issues. Okay, so this should really give you a lot of confidence, because I don't think any training institute is going to teach you to this level. Okay, to be able to set up everything from scratch, ground zero, right? And we'll be facing several issues on the way. So we will try to clear each and every issue as we move forward. All right. So this way you get to learn a little bit of AWS in this whole picture. You will get to learn a little bit of Azure also. Okay. And then I would love to see if we are able to build this whole thing for AWS as we move forward. It might be advanced session, may not be in this first 3 months. Okay. Because in the first 3 months, I really want, the whole idea that I have in my mind is just, once I have the whole platform ready. So this is what I'm calling as platform, right? The Jenkins platform ready. I want that Jenkins platform to connect to JFrog, which you already have, right? I want it to be, so basically when I say JFrog, it's basically Maven artifacts and Docker images. So this is where we'll be able to build our, and then again, definitely GitHub, right? You have it here. So it will connect to GitHub, it will connect to JFrog, and this is our Jenkins. Now, what is the next piece? And this is the platform that I was talking about, which we will have to build the whole platform, right? Next thing, what I would want to do is, when we move forward, when we really go to K8s, I would want to use the K8s plugin to not build using slaves that are EC2 instances, but build it on K8s project or namespace, basically. So all your builds will be Docker ephemeral pods that will be coming up, building, pushing things to JFrog, and then dying away. Okay. But before we go here, my idea would be in a couple of weeks, maybe 2 or 3 sessions, to not have this at all. We'll have just one instance, and we will install Docker on this. And all the jobs will be created as Docker containers. They will create the job, run everything, and then the Docker container would be killed. That's the same technique we will use on K8s when we run it as pods. That's the whole big picture for you for the 3 months course what you have. Okay. Is there anything that we've missed? I know we're going to do like Postman and all that little teeny things, right? We'll do, but this is the big picture. I know there is Maven also in the mix. JFrog, Jenkins, GitHub, Maven, Kubernetes, Docker. Now you kind of get a picture of how this is all sticking together. I would love if Saujanya responds to this. Are you getting a big picture?
Yes,
Do you think it's a pretty picture? It's not a pretty picture, but you get the whole point, right? How it's going to happen.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So there's a lot of, I seriously want you, the more interest you show me, the more interest I will get to spend my personal time, right? Everybody should remember over here that if I have to build all of this, right, I'm spending my personal time. It's not only the session time over here. So it all depends on how much interest do you show in it. Otherwise, I will have to take shortcuts. And I would need a lot of help from you. So when I'm telling you, go do the JCSC and the plugin manager, I seriously, and the HA, the EFS thing, Jyoti and Mansa, please keep exploring it. See whether you're able to get some leads, because when I'm doing it, you probably will be able to help me when I'm doing it there. And then we together might be able to solve the problem. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, I think we are at
Samir,
one.
for the DNS names,
Sorry?
to create DNS names.
DNS?
Names.
DNS.
Earlier
DNS.
Yeah, DNS.
Yeah.
Domain name systems.
Yeah.
Earlier, I purchased a name from GoDaddy.
Mm-hmm.
That was cheap, around $1 or $1.50 per year, valid for 1 year.
Mm-hmm. You can hook it up in AWS. if that's what you're asking for. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I've purchased quite a lot of DNS names in GoDaddy. I will be hooking up into Route 53. Is that what you're asking, Jyoti? You've gone silent.
We purchase one name for us. Shall we get a name from? Shall we get a name from GoDaddy once for us? One name for us.
Don't get it now. Don't get it now. Look at the whole picture once I paint it. If you think it will make sense for you to play around with it, then we will go and buy it for each one of you. For now, don't buy it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Clear.
All right. Do you think this will be good enough for you to really gain some knowledge out of all this, or do you think there's something more that I should be doing?